ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते मूकं करोति वाचालम् पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः।
अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम्
यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम्
यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम्।
यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम्।
Starting from this shloka, the next few shlokas, the 4 shlokas, I think, where Sarvatma Bhava is presented by Bhagavan here. Bhagavataha Vibhutihi. Bhagavan Vibhuti श्लोके की विभूति संक्षेपम आह भाष्यकार से चतुर्भिः श्लोके ही विभूति संक्षेपम आह। यद्यपि पूर्वम् उक्तम् कुत्र सप्तम अध्याये दशम अध्याये अपि पुनः अत्र संक्षेप रूपेण उक्तम्। यदादित्य गतं Tejaha Jagat Bhasayate, Akilam Jagat Bhasayate, Aditya Gatam, Yaha Tejaha, Aditya Gatam, Surya Mandale Gatam, Vyavastitam, Suryashitam, Yaha Tejaha, Diptihi, Prakashaha, Jyotihi, Varchaha Bhavati, Tat Jagat Bhasayate, Prakashayati, Prakashaka Ityukte, Tamo Nivartanam, Tamo Ragitam Karoti, removes tamas. Not only Prakasha is light, removes darkness. Darkness also stands for tamas. Therefore, tamo ragitam karoti. Vasayate. Akilam. Samastam jagat. Samagram jagat. Yat adityagatam bhavati. Yat chandramasi api. Chandramandale. Chandramasi. Chandramandale. Yat tejaha vartate. Chandramandale. Yat agnav api. Jatavedasi. Yat agnav api. Yaha tejaha. The tejaha is Chaitanya Samarthyam, the Taha Prakasha. That is the expression of the Chaitanyam. Tat Tejaha Mamakam Vidhi. That Bhagavan said, Tat Tejaha Mamaka Mama Sarveshwarasya Mama Sarveshwarasya iti Vidhi. Ityukte tatu tat bhutanam swataha bhavati na bhavati kintu Mamakam Surya having the tejas, the prakashatmaka, the shakti, prakashatmakaha, suryaha, similarly Chandra, Agni, that they do not enjoy of their own, they don't have of its own, but it is of me. In the Yadgatva na nivartante tadhamam paramam mama iti purumuktam shashta tamashloke. Bhagavan has said, and similarly, Jivaha mama eva mama amshaha asti iti purumuktam Mamaivamsho Jivaloke iti. Then doubt may come. Shanka must come. Shankam. Yadi Shankam Kuryat. Tat Dama Ishvarasya Dama. Kutra Vartate Tat Parichinnam Tat Parichinnam Va Aparichinnam Va Parichinnam Jet Kutra Bhivavati Loke Vartate. Atava Aparichinnam Jet Sarvatra Sarvatra Bhinna Bhinna Rupena Sarvatra Labate Eva Iti Shanka Bhavati. Because Bhagavan has said Tadhama, that Dhama, Tadhama Paramam Mama, Tadhama Paramam Mama, that Dhama is about residence. That is why this Tadhama, when we say that Vaikunta, etc., that comes Vishishta Dvaiti Dvaitis. Tadhama is not any particular Dhamma, particular Loka. Tadhama is everywhere it is. Everywhere it is Ishvara, the expression of Ishvara in the form of this Jagat. Therefore, the Jagat is Ishvarasya Vibhuti. Therefore, when doubt arises, Putra asti tadhama Ishvarasya Sarvatra. Therefore, that's Shankayaha Nivarnartham Ishvarasya Sarva Loka Atitatvam Sarva Loka Atitatvam Ishvarasya. Tarhitam Bhagavan Aha Yadaditya Katam Tejaha Sarva Loka Atitatvam Ityukte. Beyond all the lokas means is not limited by any of these lokas. That is the meaning. Not above means not sitting above. Sarvaloka Tatvam means all the lokas are contained within himself. In fact, all the lokas, etc. Seven up and seven down. Atala Vitala Sutala, Rasatala Vahatala Patala, then Bhugu Suvaha Maha Janaha Tapaha, that's up to Satyaloka. All these are manifestations of the same Ishvara alone. Ishvara se Vibhutihi. Asmin Loka, in this Loka, because we only see, have experience or have experience or experience this loka. Therefore, asmin loke सूर्यः अस्ति, चन्द्रः अस्ति, अग्निः अस्ति, ते सर्वे प्रकाशकाः। एतेषां विना किमपि द्रष्टुं न शक्यते। Without this prakasha, you cannot see, you cannot perceive any objects. Prataksha pramanena chakshubhihi, chakshubhyam. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Adityagatam yat tejaha vartate, jagat bhasagati, chandramase यत ज्योतिः वर्तते तेजः अग्नवपि या प्रकाशिका शक्तिः वर्तते तत् सर्वं मामकम् एव मामकं वैष्णवं विद्धि तत् प्रकाशः सूर्यादिगतः प्रकाशः परमेश्वरस्य चैतन्य प्रकाशस्य एव रूपम् it is an expression of the chaitanyam consciousness. So सूर्यः जडः जडः सूर्यः कथं प्रकाशं दातुं शक्नोति न. In fact, Shruti says तमेव भातं भान्तमनुभाति सर्वम्, as we saw before. परमेश्वरस्य चैतन्यशक्त्या एव सूर्यादयः प्रकाशकाः भवन्ति. Surya etc. also their prakasha it is borrowed from the Chaitanya, therefore swataha na prakashati. Tat mamakam viddhi, that belongs to me no, that is me alone. Belongs to me is saying Ishwarasya is it's not different from Ishvara. So it is Ishvara, that my vibhuti, my expression of that, mamakam viddhi. Then this we have seen. Then further he says Ishvara presents his own glory. How he expresses himself in this variegated Jagat. Then he says all these shlokas can be collected and these are the Ishvara Vibhuti. Rasoham Apsakauntaya Prakasham Sashishuryayoho as said in the 7th chapter, and many are there in the 10th chapter and this also. But in this chapter the beauty is even Bhagavan talks about that Shakti which is there in the stomach, that Vaishvanara Bhutva, that also me. The food, what is digested, this prana. I cook the food in being in the stomach. That is why this chapter is chanted before food, before dinner, before food. So that is also expression of Ishvara. Ishvara si vibhuti. If Ishvara is not there, then prana apana, then this Vaishvana Agni, that also will not be there, and prana apana will not be able to function. They are all jada. Food also will not be there, and food also cannot be taken in and cannot be digested also. So therefore, I only make everything possible. So it means I alone am in the form of all this, expressed in the form of all this. Sarvatma Bhava, expression of Ishvara, Ishvara se vibhutihi. Now let us see that Shloka number 13. Gama vishya cha bhutani dharayam yaha mojasa.
गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यपमोजसा
उष्णमिच्छौषधी सर्वा सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः
उष्णामि सर्वा सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः.
So Gam avishya, Gam pravishya. What is Gam? Gam is Go Shabda. So Bhagavan entered the cow. Gohu, Gahu, Gavaha. Why so particular about cow? It is not cow. Gam means cow, one meaning is there. has got another meaning also. Context we have to see, take the meaning. Same Shabda, go Shabda, Srilinga, Gohu, Gavo, Gavaha, declensions all same, but go means Prithivi, this Medini, this Jagat, this Jagat. Go means go means Prithivi, Prithivi means this Jagat. Earth means not earth element, this Jagat. Gam Pravishya. Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupra Vishat, as said in the Taittiriya Shruti, Srishtva Idam Jagat Srishtva, Ishvara entered, as though entered. It is not like we build a house and do the Graha Pravesha, not like that. That is, house is different from me, therefore I can enter the house. But Jagat is not different from Ishvara. Ishvara created this Jagat out of himself and he entered the Jagat means he manifesting in the form of this Jagat. That is the meaning. That is Gama Vishya. So this Pravesha is, we entering into the houses, Pravesha is that Dvaitam. Ishvara entering into this Jagat is not Dvaitam. Ishvara manifesting in this form of Jagat. Because what is there is only Ishvara. How can there be Jagat separate from Ishvara? Ishvara created this Jagat, in fact projected this Jagat out of himself. It is the projection. How Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam, like that, it's a projection. And entered. That's why beings, things are lively. They are become Prakashakaha. Yata Yadadityakatam Tejaha iti Uktam. Therefore, Gam Pravishya, entering this Jagat Pravishya, Antarbhutva, Avishya, Pravishya, Gam Avishya, Bhutani, Bhutani, Praninaha, Jivaha, Characharatmaka Bhutani, Bhutani all, moving, non-moving, Samasta Prani Samoha, Bhutani, Aham Dharayami, Aham Rakshami, Aham Bibarmi, I sustain them. Having entered this, Aham Bhutani Dharaya, I sustain all the beings, including Jada also. That also is covered. Jada Vastuni api. Everything is sustained, I sustain. Otherwise, they will not be in the order. Everything is within order. Because Bhagavan sustains. Dharayami. Aham Dharayami. Aham Kaha. Aham Krishnaha. Vasudevasya Putra Krishnaha. Na Vasudevaha. As here Bhagavan you saying Aham as from the standpoint of Ishvara. Aham Ishvaraha Paramatma. Gamavishya Travishya Bhutani Dharayami. These bhutas are in the Prithvi, in the Jagat, in this Jagat only. Therefore, having entered the Jagat, I sustain the beings. It means I manifest alone in the form of this entire Jagat consisting of this Charatmaka bhutas. How do I sustain them, all these beings? Ojasa. That is Ojas Shakti. Ishwarasya. Ishwarasya Prabhavena Shaktiyena Viryena. Ojasa Ishwarasya Shakti. Ojasa Ishwara Shaktya. Ojas. So Ojas is Shakti, energy. Not energy, Shakti is better. Energy. All bhutas, they are sustained by my strength, by my Ojas, Mama Balena, Ishvara Shakti, Maya Shakti. That is Shakti. Not to translate as energy. It's Shakti. Shakti is Shakti, Maya Shakti, Mama Ojasa. Mama Ojas, Tejas, all same. Tejasa. The same Tejas, Yadadityakatam Tejaha. The same Tejas is talked about. Here also, Ojasa is another word for Tejas. So the Tejas, Nema Tejasa, not only that, Aham Pushnami, Aham Pushtami Chaushadihi. What is Chaushadihi? Cha Aushadihi. Aushadihi, the plants. Chaushadihi, that is a plant kingdom. The plants, all the plants. Chaushadihi, Aham Chaushadihi, Aham Pushnami. Aham pushnami chaushadihi. Pushnami is poshayami. Pushdatu. Aham poshayami. Oshadihi is vanaspateha ityartaha. Sasyani. Vrihi yavadyaha vanaspateha oshadihi. Oshadihi is Ditya Bhakti Bhagavachan. I think so. It must be Oshadihi. From that, we get Aushadam, medicine. Plants are medicines. Therefore, Oshadihi, Aham Pushnami. Aham, in fact, Oshadi plants, they give nourishment to us. It means they must have that nutrients, that minerals, the nourishment in them they must have. Who gives that? We get all the vitamins, etc. from the plants. From the plants, vegetables we get. But who nourishes the entire plant kingdom? Aham Pushnami. Katam, that also Bhagavan says. Aham Sarvaha. Sarvaha is that's why I said Oshadi, it must be Srilinga. Sarva Sarve Sarvaha. Sarvam Sarve Sarvaha. Sometimes if we don't know the gender, we can guess based on the adjectival pronoun. Sarvaha Oshadihi cha aham Pushnami. I don't know the gender of Oshadi, but I guessed based on Sarvaha. Aham Sarvaha Oshadihi Pushnami Dharayami Pushnami Poshayami Katam. The plant kingdoms are endowed with these nutrients by me. Therefore, Pushtan Karomi Sarvaha Oshadihi Katam Somo Bhutva Somaha Bhutva Rasatmakaha Somaha Bhutva Aham Pushnami. Rasatmakaha in the form of Rasa, Rasa Swarupa, Rasa. Rasa is the nutrients, the essence. Somaha Bhutva. Somaha is literally Chandraha. So, in the form of the Soma Rasa, which is the form of Soma obtained from the moon. So, how it happens, we don't know. Shastram says, for plants, not only sun is required, moon is also required. Moonlight also is required. So, plants get the nourishment, the nutrients in the presence of the moon. Therefore, Somaha Bhutva, in the form of the Soma Rasa, which is obtained from the sun, Somaha Bhutva, Rasatmakaha Somaha. So, moon is not mentioned. The Soma Rasa, in the form of the juice, that Soma, which is obtained from the moon alone, that we have to supply. Moon is there. Because Soma itself has got the meaning of the Chandrama, Chandraha. Somaha is Chandraha, Boshadinam Raja is this Chandraha. So therefore, Somaha Bhutva, Surupam Grihitva, Rasatmakaha in the form of Rasaha Atma, Surupam Yasyasaha, it's Bhaguri Samasa. In the form of that essence, the Somarasa, Bhutva, Choshadihi, I nourish all the plant kingdom, and by which beings are nourished, consuming them. Therefore, Gam Pravishya, Aham Ojasa, Balena, Dharayami Bhutani. Yadi Bhagavan na Dharayati, Targi Prithivyaha Sthitihi Ka Bhavati. The noble things will be intact. They will be in a random order. There will not be no niyati in the system, in the order. There will not be any order. That is, there is no niyati in the creation. But everything functions within the order. Therefore, Bhagavan alone. And not only he keeps everything that that's dharayati, the dharakatvam, he sustains. He is the creator, he sustains and also nourishes. That alone be present in the form of Vishnu. As Bhagavan, we say, creator is Brahma, it's Vishnu who is nourishes, who sustains and nourishes. So having created the prani, bhutani, tesham bhojanartam, Bhagavan eva, Bhagavan oshadihi srishtavan, oshadihi, this plant kingdoms, entire plant kingdoms, रसात्मकः सोमः भूत्वा सर्व औषधिः अहम पुष्णामि पुष्टान् करोमि. So according to the Shastra, this Chandrama, the moon, is the source for this Soma Rasa. So the Chandrasya Kiranaha Sasyeshu Patanti Tada Evateshu Rasaha Swadaha Rasaha Utpadyate. That Rasa is the cause for the nourishment. This is according to the Shastra. You cannot find out from, maybe science also can say. In fact, certain plants are sowed in the presence of moonlight. Certain crops are, they are sowed in the moonlight. Okay, so therefore Bhagavan Pushnati, entire Choshadi plant kingdom. Therefore, Suryaha Bhutva Surya Rupena Adadityagatam Tejaha Tadvat Chandramasi Yaha Teja Yata Tejaha Agnovapi Saha Tejaha Eva Gam Pravishya Api Bhutani Dharayati Sarvaha Aushadi Pushnati Kaha Saha Ahameva Iti Bhavan says, I alone. Therefore, Dharayami Aham Pushnami Iti. Okay. So having entered the earth, having nourished the beings and the things, entire plant kingdom. Now these plants are consumed. This oshadis, they are the real medicines as annam. They become annam for whom? For the beings, for the human beings and other beings also. They are consumed by them. Therefore, what happened then? That's he says in the next shloka. Important shloka. In fact, the shloka is the cause for this chapter being chanted before Bhojanam. अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः
अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः
प्राणापानसमायुक्तः चाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्
प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्.
In fact, what Sangamitra ji asked in the previous class, the answer is here. If this attitude or this buddhi is there, it is not me who is eating, it is Bhagavan who eats. I do the physical eating, up to the mouth is my. After that, I don't have any job to do. Bhagavan does. Bhagavan alone in the form of this Vaishvanaraha, digestive fire. The outside fire, the fire is required for cooking the annam, for seasoning, for cooking the annam. That is first cooking. Second cooking happens in the stomach. So 2 times the annams are cooked and the nutrients are taken out, and that alone which sustains the body. So Bhagavan Prithivim Dharayati Rasatmaka Bhutva Annadin Poshayati Bhagavan Eva Annasya Utpadakaha and Jivaha Annam Kadanti. That annam entering into the stomach of the jiva. Yadi annam sharirasya abhyantare जीर्णं न भवति तर्हि किं भवति प्राणिनां पोषणं न संभवति. अतः भगवान् कथयति अस्मिन् श्लोके जाटराग्निरूपेण स्थित्वा Ahameva annasya pachakaha bhavati. Annasya pachakaha yaha Vaishvanaragnihi saha Vaishvanaraha bhutva ahameva bhutva ahameva asmi tat. That 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 anna pachakaha inside the stomach. Outside we have one pachaka, one chef is there. Whoever it may be, whether it is wife or mother, she cooks, he or she, whatever it is, cooks. But second pachakaha is that. First pachakaha is important. It's only the physical cooking. Second cooking, and that cook is ahameva. So Bhagavan says, I am the pachakaha. If second pachakaha is not there, then praninam poshanam katam sambhavati. This, remembering this, if we take the annam, then it will become an yajna. This annam, if with this attitude, with this buddhi, if annam is taken, every morsel of food enters, then it becomes a prasada, it becomes really aushadhi, then the taste for that and all will be set aside. You are offering that to the digestive fire, which is Ishvara, Jataragnihi, which is that the stomach, which is Ishvara alone. Ishvara alone manifests in the form of this Jataragni. But what do we offer into the Agni? All the nonsense we offer. Some people make the stomach the burial ground of animals. Swamiji very vehemently uses. People make the stomach the burial ground of animals. But still, Bhagavan Pachakaha, therefore, still Pushnati, Poshanam Karoti. So for Aham Vaishvanaraha Bhutva, Praninam, Deham Ashritaha. Praninam Deham Ashritaha. Praninam Jivanam Deham Aham Ashritaha Vaishvanaraha Bhutva. Aham is Ishvaraha, Parameshwara, Vasudevaha. Vaishvanaraha, Jataragnihi, this Vaishvanaraha. Vishve Chate Naraha, the compound is something. Vaishvanaraha. Vishwamitraha, Vishwanaraha, that is one sutram is there. Actually, it is Vishwa. Vishwam becomes Vishwa when it is referring to a rishi, or when the word is compound Nara, is the Uttarapadam. Then the Dirgatam happen. I think Nara word also is there. I need to check, but Mitra, I know, Vishwamitra, referring to the name of a rishi, then Vishwa will become Vishwa. Having formed that compound, then Tadita, Rupam of that. Vaishwa Naraha. So Vishvecha te Naraha, Vishwa Naraha, then Tadita, Anprataya, Vaishwa Naraha iti Rupam Bhavati. So Vaishwanaraha Bhutva, Jataragnihi Bhutva, that Agnihi, the digestive fire Bhutva. Bhutva, you can see Bhutva is Tva. Not always Tva will have, the karma, the Dvitiya Vibhakti. Here, Aham Vaishwanaraha Bhutva, subjective complement. Aham Vaishwanaraha Bhavati. We can say like that. Instead of Bhutva. Because Bhutva connecting the next sentence. Praninam Deham Ashitaha, Aham Ashitaha. So Aham Vaishwanaraha Bhavati. Aham is also Pratama Ekavachanam, Vaishwanaraha also Pratama Ekavachanam. So Bhutva, not Vaishwanaram Bhutva, that is wrong. That is how generally we think that is wrong. Aham Vaishwanaraha Bhutva, subjective complement. Aham Vaishwanaraha Bhutva, Surupam Grihitva, that is Agni Rupena, Jataragni Rupena, Bhutva, Praninam, Samasta Bhutanam, Praninam, Jivanam, Ityartha, Jantunam, Deham, Shariram, physical body, the Bhautika Shariram, Deham, Ashritaha. Ashritaha is Parvishtaha. Aham Ashritaha. Ashritaha is Shridhatu. Aham Ashritaha. Kartari, Taprataya. So, therefore, Aham Ashritaha. Having become the Jataragni in the bodies of beings. So Praninam, the Jataragni, where it will be in the beings, Praninam. Therefore, Praninam Deham Aham Ashitaha Pravishtaha Ityartaha. This is one. Okay, but the Annam has to enter the mouth and reach the stomach. So therefore, there comes the Prana Apana. Without Prana Apana, how this is possible? Therefore, Prana Apana Samayuktaha. This also Agni, because Agni requires oxygen. Here it is not like that, but just so that here, as Agni as fire requires oxygen for that, so that fire will be kindled always. Similarly, the digestive fire which is inside, that has to be kindled, for which the Vayu is this breathing in and breathing out, that Panaha, Apanaha and Pranaha. Pranaha is Pragamanam Vayu, Adogamanam Apanaha. So, Pranaha Pragamanam. What goes, that goes. Pranaha. Pranaha and Apanaha. Pragamanam, Adogamanam. So, exhalation, inhalation. So, Prana, Pana, Bhyam, Samayuktaha, Sanyuktaha, Agam Pachami. So, Prana, Pana, Samayuktaha. Pranascha, Panascha, Prana, Prana. Tabhyam, Samayuktaha. Tabhyam, Samayuktaha, Prana, Panu. Samayuktaha, Prana, Panu, Samayuktaha. Aham Chat Annam Pachami. So, as Vaishvanara, I am the Agni Tattvam. As food, I am the Soma Tattvam. Bhagavan alone, in the form of Soma Tattva, has become the food, the Anna, that Aushadhi. The Aushadhi now it has to enter the stomach and it is digested. It is cooked as Vaishvanara. I am alone in the form of Agni Tattvam in the beings, in the stomach of the being. Stomach is not, but it is digested in the stomach alone. Therefore, and also this Prana and Apana, Samayuktaha, endowed with this Prana and Apana, because without Prana Apana, cooking is not possible. So therefore, Prana Apana Samayuktaha. So endowed with this Prana Apana, Aham Pachami. This Chaturvidam Annam Aham Pachami. Chaturvidam Annam we will see. And here another point also you can see. So Rasatmaka Somo Bhutva Sarvaha Choshadihi Aham Pushnami, Bhagavan said. So Bhagavan alone is the form of these plants, etc. Therefore, they are the eaten. They are Bhogya Vastu, Bhogya Padartha, eaten. Eater is the Praninam Dehamashitaha. That also is Bhagavan only. And where it is eaten, the digestive fire is there. That also is Bhagavan. So the eater is Bhagavan, eaten is Bhagavan, and the locus where Annam is consumed, that is also Bhagavan. Everything is Bhagavan. So therefore Bhagavan is a eater, is a eaten. That is Brahmarpanam, Brahma. That also is chanted for Bhojanam. So all these are well thought and kept as prayer before Bhojanam. So that we don't become intensely become active out of our appetite for food, taste for food, not appetite, taste for food. All our sense organs are highly functional when we taste, because there's so much love for the taste of food rather than the appetite. That is why Vratadi, etc. is important. Okay, this. And therefore only there is, before we do Parishesanam, and then we say Pranaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha. Swaha, when do we say? Swaha we say when we offer something into Agni. Swaha is a wife of Agni. So Agni you offer when in the Agni Kunda, Homa Kunda as oblations, then becomes a yajna. So here also that eating is an yajna. But do we eat as looking upon it as a yajna? That's a big question. So therefore, as in the Agni Kunda you offer annam by saying swaha, here also we have got a real Agni Kunda, big Agni Kunda is the stomach into which we offer our food. Pranaya swaha, Panaya swaha. The Homa Kunda is this udaram. Into that we offer. And that offering, the shariram is because endowed with prana and apana. That is, shariram is alive, it is functioning. The prana, apana, they are should be endowed with. Otherwise shariram cannot function. Prana, apana, and then samana also is there. Samana is the digestion. The prana is responsible for digestion. So you put food into your mouth, but it has to go inside. It will not go automatically inside by gravity. Gravity it will go, but it has to be pushed inside into intestines. So prana and apana take care of them. So therefore prana apana is important. Prana apana samayuktaha. With this aham pachami, you are not doing anything. You just consume. Bhagavan takes care of the rest of the thing, all this digestion and taking out the nutrients and etc. vitamins from that and giving to the respective the organs etc. That Bhagavan does. Aham pachami. Bhagavan cooks, separates and then distributes. Now aham pachami, what? This annam. And that annam is of chaturvidam, 4 types of annam. Chaturvidam, chatvaraha prakaraha asya iti chaturvidam annam aharam asti. What are those chaturvida aharam? Bhakshyam, and Bhashyakara says, Bhakshyam, Bhojyam, Choshyam, Lekyam iti. Bhakshyam is that which is dantaihi charvitva kadyate yat yata rotika or rice etc. ityadi padartaha katinaha padartaha that is eaten with the teeth. They are bhakshyam, otherwise called charvyam. Next one is bhojyam. Bhojyam is that which doesn't require the teeth, like payasa or soup. Kevalam jikhvaya eva kaditum shakyate. That just it is bhojyam. So you don't have to chew it. Bhojyam. Then choshyam, like amrapalam. Amrapalam is choshyam, chushanam. Just sucking that juice. It should like sugarcane also. So dantaihi oshtaihi cha chushyate yat. And lekyam. Legium is like honey, etc. That we do the lick. Lick means to lick. Lehanam. So therefore 4 types of annam. Chaturvidam annam. So aham Ishvaraha Vaishvanaraha Bhutva Praninam Dege Pravishtaha Asmi Aham then Pranapana Samayuktaha Vayu Pranapanau Vayu Antaha Stito Vayu Pranavayuhu Kim Karoti Annam Karshati Antaha Apanavayu Kim Karoti Adomukam Prerayati. So this is the job of Pranapana. Etabhyam Chataragni Samyak Annam Pachati Sahajataragni Ahameva. So then Chaturvidam Annam Aham Pachami. Therefore Bhagavan says Bhokta api Aham, Bhogyam api Aham. Everything is me. So therefore Bhokta, Bhogyam and Bhojanam also. The Jivaha is not different from Bhagavan. Therefore everything is me. So therefore Bhokta api Ishvaraha eva, Bhogyam Annam api Ishvaraha eva. Yada Bhokta Bhogyam Annam bhavati. Tarki that Kriya api Yajnaha bhavati. Therefore It's a yajna, big yajna. Every day we do this yajna. Then, having said this, the next shloka, Bhagavan says, before he said, Suryaye tejaha agam, Prithibhyam dharana shaktihi agam, Chandre poshana shaktihi api agam, Sharire jataragni shaktihi api, Pachaka shaktihi api agam. And having said that, then Jivanam praninam antakarane pratyekatma rupena ahameva asmi. That Bhagavan says in the next shloka. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishtah mattasmrtirjnanamapohanancha
सर्वस्य
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि
हृदि
सन्निविष्टः
सन्निविष्टः
मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानम्
मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनम् च
अपोहरम् च
वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम्
वेदैश्च
वेदैश्च
सर्वैरहमेव
सर्वैरहमेव
वेद्यो
वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृद्
वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव
वेदविदेव चाहम्
चाहम्
So sarvasya hृदि sannivishtaha aham sannivishtaha. Vishtatu is akarmaka dhatu. So kartri api ta pratyaya bhavati. Aham sannivishtaha. Mattaha smritihi jnanam apoganam cha jayate. We have to supply. Sarvehi vedehi ahameva vedyaha. Vedantakrite vedavit api ahameva. So sarvasya aham sarvasya samasta praninam sarveshu pranishu aham ishvaraha paramatma hridi buddhau antakarne sannivishtaha stitaha bhavati ahameva sitaha antakarne ishvara as pratyekatma is in all the pranis sarvasya sarvesham praninam antakarne eva aham asmi. And mattaha is ishvara anugrahat eva smritihi smaranam, the medha shakti which is required. Smru chintayam, smaranam, remembering. And, and and when it comes to Vedanta, it's more required Meda Shakti. In fact, Meda Shakti is required Medas. It is Mattaha eva, Mama, Anugrahat eva bhavati, Smritihi, Jnanam also, any knowledge. Indriya Vishaya Sammata Jayamanam, Jnanam, Paroksha, it is whether it is any Vidya, any Vidya, Apara Vidyas are so many, all the Vidyas, and also Paravidya, ultimate Brahma Vidya also. So Jnanam api, Jnana knowledge, Mattaha eva, Mama, Anugrahat eva, knowledge, Bhavati happens, Jnanam Bhavati, any knowledge. By Pratyakshadi Pramanam, Jnanam Janyate, that Jnanam, eyes see, and the knowledge of that happens in the Buddhi, Chaitanya, Ashirvadena Bhavati, Anugrahat eva Bhavati Jnanam, Smriti also. Then Apohanam also. That we cannot dismiss. Apohanam is Smriti Jnana Yogo Apagamaha, Nashaha. So Apohanam is forgetfulness. Apohanam, Vismaranam, Ityartaha, Apohanam. That also is Ishvara, that also is Ishvara's only, Apohanam. So knowledge, memory or knowledge or forgetfulness. Forgetfulness cannot happen without the blessing of Ishvara. It is also blessed by Ishvara. Chaitanya, Anugrahat, Ishvara, Anugrahat eva, that also that forgetfulness is important. Thank God it is there. Otherwise, if we remember all the pains, all the worries, all the trauma what we have undergone, knowingly or unknowingly, in this Janma or previous Janma, if all these are there, then what will happen? The person will collapse. He will not be able to survive at all. But that forgetfulness, that Avarana Shakti, what we call, it is there for a kid, for a baby, for a child. Thanks to that, the baby survives. If this Avarana Shakti is not there, the baby will collapse. So therefore, this capacity to forget also is a great blessing, except Sanskritam and Sutras. So therefore, this is a great blessing. Otherwise, all the time we will be remembering the what others have done, injustice. Always, therefore, always there will be jealousy, revenge, etc. So just Bhagavan has given this capacity even to suspend or to forget. So that is also Ishvara's alone. Ishvar, Mamattaha eva. Attaha from Lord Bhagavan alone, this apoganam also, which is also absolutely required. So Mattaha smritihi jnanam apoganam cha jayate, arjayante. Then Vedehi, Vedaischa sarvaihi ahameva vidyaha, Vedehi ऋक् यजुः सामादिभिः वेदैः समस्तैः शास्त्रैः अहमेव वेद्यः अहं परमात्मा ब्रह्म एव वेद्यः वेदितुं योग्यः वेदितुं योग ईश्वर alone Bhagavan alone is is the vedya yogyah vedehi through all the shastras, all the scriptures, all the shastra Vedas. I am the prameyam, I am the prameyam, I am the object of that means of knowledge. So therefore Vedyaha. In fact, Veda has come from Ishvara. About whom? About him, about oneself. That is about Ishvara. Ishvara has published a manual. That is called Veda. So Ishvara, it means Ishvara is to be recognized by the Vedas. So who is the author of the Veda? Nobody has authored. It has come from Ishvara. Ishvara is known through the Veda, not written by anyone. But Bhagavan says here, Vedehi Aham Vedaha. That is, Bhagavan is the initiator of the Sampradaya. And Bhagavan is the author of Veda, we can say. But in fact, he says Vedanta Krita. Next sentence, he says Vedanta Krita. I am the one to be known through all the Vedas, and I am the Vedanta Krita, author of Vedanta. Vedanta Krita is Vedantam Karoti iti Vedanta Krita. Vedantanam. So Vedanta Krita means Vedanta Sampradaya Pravartaka ityartaha. Of course, Vedanta Krita. Bhagavan is the author of the entire Vedas. Entire Vedas has come from Ishvara. It means Ishvara is the author. And in Veda only there is Vedanta. And Vedaihi Aham Vedyaha as said. And Vedanta Krit, Veda Videva Chaham. How do you explain Vedanta Krit? The first Sampradaya Krit. I am the initiator of the Sampradaya. That is why Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamamiti. So Vedanta Krit, Vedanta Sampradaya Krit, Vedanta Krit and Vedavit also. Vedantanam Tatparyam Vedanta Krita as well as Vedavit. Vedavit, Vedam Janati, Vedam Veti iti. The one who knows the Veda, who is to be known by the Veda, that is Paramatma, that is I am. Vedanta is within the Veda. The one who is known by all the Vedas and who is the initiator of this Vedanta Sampradaya and he is Vedavit, he is the knower of all the Veda and he alone is known through the Vedas, that is Vedanta, that is Ishvara, Paramatma, that is I am. That is I am. So I am the subject matter of the Vedas. So Vedanta Krit Ved Aham Eva. The Bhashyakara says, Vedavit is Vedartavit, Vedasya Artaha. And Vedanta Krit is Vedantartha Sampradaya Krit. Bhashya distinguish because Vedam Janati, the one who knows the entire Veda, knows means he knows the meaning of the entire Veda. Vedartavit. Not that he knows all the Veda, the words. The meaning of the words also Bhagavan knows. Therefore, Vedarthavit. And Vedanta Krit is who is the Vedanta is has to be transferred in the Sampradaya. So Vedanta Veda already Bhagavan has said he is the creator of the Veda, author of the Veda, and Vedarthavit is then Vedanta Krit. How do we explain? The entire Veda created by the Lord, which includes Vedanta also. And Vedanta Krit is the Vedanta has to be taught. It is a Sampradaya. It is a Sampradaya, therefore Vedanta Sampradaya Krita. Because this knowledge has to be transferred in the form of Guru Shishya Parampara. Therefore, Bhashakara says Vedanta Sampradaya Krita iti. So, therefore, Ahameva Mattaha, that is Smritihi, Jnanam, Apohanam, Sarvehi Vedehi. The entire Veda, the goal of all the Vedas is myself. So, all the mantra, yajna, Upanishad, all this finally culminate in me alone. So, Mama eva mattaha eva, this jnanam and jnana vishaya, that jnanam, the knowledge, and Veda is the repository of all the knowledge. So, that Veda is, I'm known through that Veda and Vedanta Krita also. So, therefore, Ishvara presenting himself as to be known through the Veda. And Veda says Tat Tvam Asi. That Tat Tattvam is you. Yaha Surya Chandradhiram Prakashaha Ishvaraha Sahayeva Mama Hridaya Guhayam Mama Hridi Sannivishtaha Mama Hridaya Guhayam Buddhehe Drishta Sakshi Atma Bhutva Asti. Therefore, that Ishvara is this Jivatma. Therefore, Jiveshwarayoho Abhedaha also, that also is presented. Therefore, Tattvamasi Mahavakya is because Bhagavan created everything and Bhagavan alone is in the Hridi Sannivishtaha. Therefore, this Jivatma is not different from Paramatma. And this Jnanam is given by the Veda and which was in the form of the Sampradaya in the transfer. Therefore, Vedanta Krita. Therefore, everything is Ishvara. Therefore, what is there is only Ishvara. Therefore, Jiva Ishvara, that Veda is not there. Therefore, Jiveshwara Yoho Avedaha. Therefore, Tattvatamasi, that is, Mahavakya, is indirectly conveyed by this shloka. So we have to connect. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. So Ishvara is there in the Hridaya Gugaya of all the beings. That's Pratyekatma. And this to be known through the Veda, to the Vedanta, by the Mahavakya, Tattvatamasi, ityadi. So we'll stop here. More on this we'll see in the next class. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stanvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadhakramopanishadaihi Jayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navedasvara Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः जी।
धन्यवाद शरणजी।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी। हरि ओम।
Dhanyavadaha.